You're listening to Art of the Unknown, the podcast about traveling inwards, outwards, and onwards. Hey guys, and welcome back to the show. You're listening to episode number 16, and I'm your host, Sarah Cruz. So first of all, I just want to say thank you, everybody, for your patience. This week's episode has been a little bit more difficult to get out. And as you may have noticed, I did not release an episode last week. And there were a few reasons for that. The main reason is that the last 10 days, or last 2 weeks or so actually, I've been moving a little bit fast. Like I said in my last episode, I left Istanbul. I was traveling through Bulgaria and Romania with my friend, and just moving that quickly and that abruptly, I was not as prepared as I should have been, and not even just in terms of the podcast, but in terms of life in general. So I want to say thank you for your patience, and I am back on track, okay? Right now I'm in Bulgaria, I'm in Sofia, and the last 2 weeks traveling, it has made me realize a lot of things, not just about where I am in my life, but also kind of about myself. And what it's made me realize is that I don't know what the fuck I am doing, okay? I'm going to be real. And okay, so the past 2 weeks, my friend met me in Istanbul. We started off in Istanbul, left for Bulgaria, made a pit stop, then headed north to Romania, did Bucharest, Brasov, and then headed back down to Bulgaria, and right now I'm in Sofia. And being on the constant move like that was something that, I knew what to expect because I've done it before. But what I wasn't really expecting was how much of an effect it would have on me. So, of course, part of the reason that I am traveling and basically pushing myself to constantly live outside of my comfort zone is because I'm really trying to understand myself and also my place in the world. And once again, my physical, I don't want to say surroundings, but the way that I show up to the world physically is, of course, again, reflected in my internal world as well. So what I mean by that is that by traveling and, doing those 2 short weeks backpacking, it's once again showed me that it is the same. What is happening on my outside world is the same as my inside world. Okay. So backpacking, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know not just what I'm doing in terms of the short little 2 weeks that I spent with my friend backpacking, but it made me realize that I don't really have a set plan that far out. I have about the next month of my life planned as to where I'm going to be physically, and that is going to be Spain. So I'm going to spend at least the next month in Spain. But looking at my life like that, it made me realize that I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm still as lost and as confused about my life. I don't want to say as lost, but you know what? Yeah, sure. I am still lost. I don't know what I'm doing. Yes, I've kind of made it past the initial few hurdles to get over in terms of stepping outside of myself and outside of the life that I had been living. Yes, I've done that, but now that I'm here, now that I am officially on the other side, it's not like I have everything figured out. And by moving and by shifting out of that comfort zone that I had built in Istanbul, it has once again showed me that I am still lost. I still don't exactly know what I'm doing, and I still feel like I have no direction, both physically in terms of where I want to end up in this world, but also spiritually, because again, it feels like I'm looking for some kind of direction and I'm not necessarily finding it, but I don't even know if it's something that can be found at this point. But then again, this is exactly the thing that I signed up for, okay? Because I know that the way I live my life, okay, I am a little, I don't have that much balance in terms of a middle way yet, okay? I'm kind of still a bit of an extremist, at least I think. I mean, you can think otherwise. I don't know. I really don't know much at this point right now, which is fine. But what I'm saying is that this is part of what I signed up for. I knew that I was going to be wandering this earth. I knew that I was going to be wandering my spiritual world until I found my home. But in a way, it's almost as though by going with the flow, it's reminded me that wandering sometimes comes at a cost. And that cost is at least what it feels like is trading my security for freedom. And when you do that, you have to give up certain things. And for me, those things have included routine. They've included waking up at the same place every day. They've included the small comfort of not always being so stimulated visually and emotionally, because moving from place to place, everything is new. And at some point it feels like I can't really relax a lot because everything around me is constantly changing. And by going on this whole little spiritual quest, or whatever the hell you want to call it, that I am currently on, I feel like in a way it had to happen like this. I had to remove everything that I thought I knew and thought I considered normal and ways that I was just complacent in life. I had to give all of that up. And for me, it's making sense because I've been going through so many different internal changes that my outside world had to change. There was no choice for it but to change. It had to change. It's just becoming very obvious that the place that I am right now is, I'm feeling a little bit lost, but in a way, I feel like that is exactly where I need to be. And I know for a fact that I am not the only person who is feeling this way. I know for a fact that I am not the only person out there who is feeling like they don't have direction in life and they don't know which way to go. And sometimes they don't even know which way is up or down, okay? And I know I'm not the only one that feels like this because I've been there. I've been at this spot before. Okay, this is not my first rodeo. Okay, I have been lost. I've been in the loony bin. I was so lost. Okay, and in those states of my life, I've talked to people, and I know that this feeling lost is normal. And I don't know if it's normal because of my age or because of where I am in my life, or if it's just part of the process of waking up spiritually. And again, that's another thing that I've been finding out is that it's weird to say because I feel like I don't completely understand what's happening, but I'm very confident that what is happening to me right now is that I'm having a spiritual awakening, and you know what? It's fucking with my mind. I feel as though that I'm going a little bit crazy. It feels a little painful emotionally, mentally, spiritually, because it feels as though my ego is being torn out of my body and it's resisting leaving, and through that resistance it's causing pain. Okay, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about that in this episode, but what I am saying is that, yeah, you know what, these things called spiritual awakenings, they happen, and it's not the most comfortable journey. It doesn't feel that liberating right now. It feels like I am drowning in my own thoughts, in my own shortcomings, and my own spiritual deficiencies. But you know what? That's also part of the reason why I feel like I need to do this podcast, is to share that with people and let people know that they are not alone. And if anyone else is going through this, that, you know what? Yeah, you know what? I say that too much. That if anyone else is going through this, it isn't the easiest thing. And even though we're all doing it on our own time, our own pace, and our own way, and we feel alone, ultimately we're not, because we're all going towards the same place. Okay, so the point of this episode is that I want to talk about being lost, okay? I want to talk about what it feels like to be lost physically and spiritually, because right now I am both. I am lost a little bit physically in my life because I don't know which direction to take. I don't know where I want to go. I don't know where I want to potentially live, and I don't know what I want to physically do with my life and my time and myself. And another part of me is spiritually lost because it feels like I don't know who I am in a way. I feel like I'm questioning everything about myself that I thought I knew. And the more that I learn about myself and I understand why I am the way I am, it's causing me more confusion, because it's like taking the rug from underneath me and just pulling it, and then I'm left in that space of having no solid ground to hang on to. And I'm saying this because, for example, recently I've been learning about attachment styles, and I'm learning about just how fucked up I am. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, apparently we have a way of becoming, or we have learned ways of becoming attached to people, and I guess supposedly, ideally, you want to have a secure attachment style, which means that you feel as though you are equally, I guess, giving and receiving love, as opposed to having, say, an avoidant attachment style, or an anxious one, or a fearful one, in which you feel almost as though you avoid intimacy, or you're afraid of it, or you kind of manipulate the situation in order to get it. So as I've been learning about that and seeing that in myself, it's just been making me realize that, holy shit, there are ways, I'm the way I am for a reason, but I haven't even begun to even understand why I'm this way. Or a better way to put it is that it's opening the door to see how much of myself that I'm not aware of. And it's really starting to mess with my head. And it's making me feel as though, I thought I knew who I was, but this glass is shattering. It's making me realize that, you know what, maybe I don't know as much as I thought I knew. And that makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable, because it makes me feel very almost vulnerable. It makes me feel almost as though that I can't even, in a way, trust myself, because I don't even know myself. So in terms of feeling lost, I want to go over a few things that I feel kind of sum up what it means to be spiritually lost, okay? One of the things that I'm dealing with right now is a lot of self-doubt and a lot of questioning. Because here I am, completely exposed, freaking in Bulgaria. Like, how did that happen, right? And literally, if something happens and I need to like I don't have a home at this point. Like, I don't. So anywhere that I go and I want to live, I have to start building from the bottom up. So being in that and being abroad too, let's not forget that, okay? And I'm doing this alone. Like, yes, I have friends that I've met up with, but like ultimately I am responsible for myself and for making it, and if I don't, then it's all on me. So what I'm saying is that I'm just giving you some perspective, is that there comes a time when you have to face yourself. And so because of my, say, unique situation, I've been feeling a little bit of some self-doubt. I've been questioning, is this really what I need to be doing? And is this what I should be doing right now? Am I ultimately doing the right thing? And so asking myself questions like, is this the right thing to do? Am I doing the right thing? Is this where I need to be? Am I behind in life? Am I where I need to be right now? Because sometimes it doesn't feel like I am. Sometimes it feels like I'm not doing the right thing, that I should be way further ahead in my life, whether it be with a career or like a relationship, or even having some direction. I feel like where I am right now is nowhere near where I need to be. And that is contributing to the feeling of being lost, because if you're not secure with where you are, then of course you're going to feel like you're lost. You're going to feel like you're not where you need to be. And I'm not sure if these questions that I'm having are, I guess they're normal, but are they anyway beneficial to what I'm doing, or are they just holding me back? So I guess my question is, are they actually serving a purpose, or are they just reinforcing the idea that I'm lost? And right now, like, I don't know. So another thing I feel like we're going to have to deal with when we are in that state of uncertainty and feeling like we're lost is that we're going to have to go through a lot of changes, and these changes are going to make us feel as though we don't have any solid ground to hang on to. And these changes for me are not just physical. Like I said before, it's not just constantly moving from one city to another in a span of a few days, but you're also gonna feel a bunch of internal changes too. You're gonna feel, at least for me, you're gonna feel like you as a person are changing, and that stability within yourself is going to be lost for a while, because as you're growing, things need to be lost. Things need to leave your body so that new things can take their place. And if that's going to be happening at a quicker rate than you're used to, it's going to feel like even internally there's uncertainty going on. There's not going to be anything too secure for a while, okay? And that, I feel, is normal. That needs to happen in order to grow as a person, but it also needs to happen organically, and you can't try to stop it. If you try to stop the growth that's happening to you internally because it makes you feel uncomfortable and unsure about things, then you're not going to get far, okay? Like, if change is coming, you need to fucking welcome that shit, okay? Let me tell you, fuck. Because part of me wants to be like, yo, okay, can you hold up a bit? Like, it's very, very overwhelming. Ever since I left for this little, I don't even know what you want to call it. I don't care. Ever since I left California, things have been changing so quickly, and it's been making me feel very uncomfortable because, again, there's no stability. There's no consistency. And having zero consistency outside of myself and inside of myself, it makes me feel a little bit crazy. It makes me feel as though I'm crazy. It makes me feel as though I'm trying to constantly hold on to something, but it keeps on slipping away. And I've been going through changes like this for at least a few months now. And for example, I've been seeing parts of myself that I haven't really noticed before. I've been seeing, basically what's been happening is that emotions are starting to come up that I've been blocking or that I've been resisting. Like I mentioned this, I think in a few episodes ago, is that I have a really hard time dealing with anger. So the fact that I feel like all of the anger that I have suppressed in my life is finally starting to come to the surface. It's been making me confused because I don't know how to deal with it. I don't know how to properly channel my emotions. And I feel like almost as though I have digressed back into a child state of being emotionally for this time being, just because I'm learning again how to properly deal with my emotions, okay? And yeah, it's not comfortable, but I know it's temporary. So changes like that internally have been happening, and it's making me question again who I am. And part of these changes contribute to that feeling of being lost, because if you're not even able to accurately describe and process your emotions, then that's just, in my mind, a constant wave, a constant flux happening internally. And of course you're going to feel like you're lost, because you're going to be temporarily almost guided and controlled by waves of emotions that are happening inside of you. And that's going to lead to a feeling of inner discomfort. Okay, I'm not going to lie. That's what's been happening to me. And I know it, but I'm kind of just letting it happen because I know that those are things that I need to deal with in order to move on from them. So part of this temptation of being in this state of constant emotional flux and uncertainty is going to want to say, screw this, I'm over it, I'm done. I just want to stop, okay? Because being here and being spiritually lost in a way is not the easiest thing to deal with, and sometimes we just want it to stop. We just want to be able to relax. We just want to be able to not have to be so confused and directionless all the time. But unfortunately, you can't really leave your soul. You can't leave your life circumstances that easily. And accepting the fact that you were lost for a while is pretty much all that you can do at this point. I've accepted it. Yeah, I don't really like it that much. I would rather not feel like I'm lost. I would much rather feel as though I am secure with what I am doing and where I am and where I'm going. But unfortunately, that is not the case right now. So I just have to go with it, because ultimately, it doesn't feel like I have a home. I don't feel like I have a home physically on this earth. I feel like I'm still searching for my home. And it doesn't feel like I have a home spiritually. I feel like I don't necessarily belong anywhere. I feel like no matter where I go, it's not right. It doesn't click. It doesn't feel secure. And I don't know why. I feel like I've definitely felt that way for a while. And I'm not exactly sure if it is because I'm looking for something that can't be found, or if it's because that feeling of security needs to come from within me first, and I just haven't figured out how to do that. But I guess either way, it doesn't matter, because I'm still looking and I'm still I feel like searching for something, even if it's just a feeling, and that's probably not going to end for a while. And another way that I feel spiritually lost right now is that I feel like I'm drifting. It feels as though I am internally wandering, okay? And I'm wandering because it feels like I don't fit in anywhere. And I'm not just talking about physically. Even when I go to places, even when I say I try different things, or I try, whatever people talk about is their life's purpose. If I'm trying all these different things and nothing is clicking, yeah, it feels as though I'm still spiritually aloof. It feels as though I haven't found that connection to this earth that I want. And again, I'm not exactly sure why that is. Is it just the way I am right now? Or maybe it's because I haven't found that security within myself, or maybe I'm supposed to be lost so I can find what I'm looking for. I don't know. All I know is that I'm wandering, and I know that I'm not the only person out there who feels like this, okay? Doing what I'm doing and really honestly trying to find my way through this earth and really trying to feel as though I belong somewhere or that I'm secure. It isn't easy, and doing it alone makes it harder. And I know that even though I in some ways don't want to be alone, I know that I have to do this alone. And it's because ultimately, no matter what is happening, I am the only person that can experience what is happening to me internally, okay? And yes, we can connect with other people. We can have relationships, and we can form bonds with people and really communicate where we are and where we're at. But ultimately, at least for me, going through this experience of awakening spiritually and really trying to find where I belong on this earth, I know that for me, I have to do it alone. And to be honest, it gets hard at times. It really does, because it doesn't feel like, sometimes you just want support. Sometimes you don't want to feel like it is you against the world. And sometimes you just want to relax and feel like you're taken care of and that you're protected in some way, shape, or form from this world, whether it be physically or emotionally or spiritually. But that's not the case, okay? That is not the case. And I know that the journey that I'm on has to be taken alone. No one else can walk this path for me. No one is just going to hand me the answers that I'm looking for. And nobody is going to freaking hold my hand and guide me to where I need to go, okay? I know that it's up to me. And yes, momentarily, it does feel lonely. I'm not going to lie. It feels as though because I'm doing it alone, it makes me feel a little bit crazy. It makes me really honestly question if I'm doing the right thing. It makes me feel as though I have been thrown out into the ocean and I'm just kind of drifting through it naked. And I'm just kind of maybe hoping that I'll end up where I need to be. But at the same time, I really am not seeing any sign of any island or any light or anything. And the longer that I drift, the more it really makes me question if I'm doing the right thing. And despite how hard it is, and despite how many times I've really just wanted to give up and be like, you know what, fuck this. This is too difficult. I want to go home, but at the same time, I don't feel like I have a home. So I'm kind of forced to like keep moving forward. Because you know what? The realization that I came to is that we're all lost. None of us knows exactly what they are doing, okay? And at the end of the day, we're all pretty much just lost together, but we're all on different paths, and sometimes those paths cross for a little bit, but eventually they have to disperse and go in their own direction. So one last reason that I feel as though I am lost right now is because I don't know what I want. I feel like if I was very certain about what I want out of life and what I want to do and where exactly I want to be, I feel like a lot of these problems internally would be solved. But that's the thing, is that I don't know what I want to do with my life. I don't know where I want to live. I don't even know if I want to be in a relationship. And all of these question marks that I have surrounding what I want out of life, they are not helping solve this problem of feeling lost. And I'm not exactly sure if me answering those questions is going to help me feel a little bit less lost, or if me finding my way is going to actually answer these questions for me. But I guess what I'm saying is that I don't know what I want, and I feel like that is a huge factor in why I feel so lost. Because at least if I knew what I wanted, I could be, or I can work towards it and at least have some sort of direction in regards to where I want to go and what I want to do. But a part of me is okay with not knowing, because in my mind, I feel as though there are so many different possibilities, and I'm very open to whatever is going to come my way, that I can't necessarily pick right now, because I don't have enough. I feel like I don't have enough life experience. I haven't seen any places that I want to live. I haven't experienced the work that I want to fill my time with. And I don't even know if I want to go back to school or not. And yes, it's hard because I don't want to feel like I'm drifting. I don't want to feel like I'm lost. I don't want to feel this way. But I know for a fact that I have to. I know that I have to be lost for a while. I know that me being lost is only going to lead me to where I need to be. Because if I was so sure about what I wanted, you know what? I may or may not be actually, never mind, that's not going to make any sense. But I am 100% drifting right now, and I'm really trying to be okay with it. Part of me wants it to be over. Part of me is like a little bit frustrated. And part of me feels like I'm too old. Part of me feels like I need to have my life figured out already. And part of me feels like if I don't do it soon, the windows of opportunity are going to pass. And I don't want to put pressure on myself to, pick a life purpose or pick a life's work or pick where I want to live. But I do have those pressures on me a little bit, which is why I feel as though I'm a little bit behind, because I haven't figured it out. And what I really do hope is that by sharing the way that I feel lost, it can hopefully help somebody else maybe understand where they are in their path, and hopefully offer some clarity to why they're feeling the way that they feel. And to know that, yeah, even though we're doing this on our own, we're not alone. And it's just something that if we're lost right now, it's just that's kind of what we're being called to do, and we're doing it for a reason, even if we may or may not completely understand what it is right now. And I know that the fact that I feel lost it's not going to be this way forever. There's been times, like I said before, that I felt lost and I felt as though I had zero direction and zero purpose. And yeah, that was not a great time in my life. And even though I'm kind of back to that feeling a little bit right now, I know for a fact it's not going to last forever. Even though I don't really see any signs of it ending soon, I know it's going to end. One day at a time, people. That's all we can do. So I really hope that something I said hopefully helps someone else out there. And if you're feeling lost too, at least you're not freaking lost in Bulgaria, because it is cold up in here, okay? It is cold. I think it was like almost in the negatives. It gets in the negatives at night, and that, I'm sorry, but like, what? I mean, girl, if you're going to be lost, did you really have to be lost in Bulgaria? Like, come on. Not the best planning, but you know what? That's just the way the cookie crumbles, okay? Okay, so that pretty much wraps up the show. Anyone out there who is feeling a little directionless, a little lost, a little spiritually adrift, just know that you are not alone, and you know, we are all going through this together. So again, I want to thank everyone out there who listens to this podcast. You have been a great support, and I thank each and every single one of you that puts up with my voice for an episode a week. So I just want to say thank you. If you want, you can check out my website, www.artoftheunknownpodcast.com. And if you haven't done so already, I would greatly appreciate it if you would help me out and leave me a review and a rating on iTunes. It would mean a lot to me. I love hearing back from you guys and just hearing back what you have to say and what you think about the show. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. I shall be back next week, and I will catch you on the flip side.